Hi, welcome back to U-Bikes and another edition of the Toll Files. I'm being joined by, I think, the newest pro signee this year, Ben Raby of the KodakGallery.com Sierra Nevada team. And a lot of big changes in your life right now, Ben. You
Yes,
just moved
absolutely.
to Boulder?
Yes, actually, yesterday, Sarah and I, my wife, we drove out from Chicago and arrived last night.
Couldn't have chose a better time, could you?
Absolutely not. That's why we came, is for the snow, for 2 feet of snow, and to train in that. So we're very excited.
So we were just talking off mic, and you were telling me that Kurt Stockton, the manager of your team,
Right.
asked that you move here or thought it was a good idea. Can you kind of let me know what he was thinking there?
Absolutely. Both Robin Zellner, the other director, and Kurt Stockton both suggested me moving here just for the better training throughout the year. Living at altitude, I want to progress as a cyclist, and also I think he wants to have a few of us from Kodak be here so we can fly in and out of here.
Sure, actually, that makes some sense,
Right.
I must say, and it's a great place to ride as well. Have you had a chance to ride around in Colorado yet?
We rode around in a car today looking for an apartment,
Right.
so that's our start.
That doesn't count.
It doesn't
There's some
count
big
yet.
mountains right over
Absolutely.
here.
I'm very excited.
So, and actually, we wanted to say a big thank you to Doug Emerson and the good folks at U-Bikes here. Is there a bike shop like this in your hometown?
There isn't probably maybe half the size of this, but there's a lot of attention to detail in the shop, which is really nice, and a lot of antiques and old jerseys and
Always
old,
classy.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about your relationship with SRAM, as I know that Kodak Gallery last year was the only team that was, actually there was a team in Spain, the Orbea team was using it as well. But here in North America, the only team on the SRAM stuff, and it certainly worked really well. Obviously,
Right.
at the end of the year, there were quite a few great results. I look at Jackson Stewart
Yep.
winning in Lancaster. But tell me about your relationship with them. It goes kind of way back to your old mountain biking days. I remember you as a kid out there in the mid-'90s.
Absolutely, and that's actually the first time I met you, Dave, was when you were wrenching for Shimano. And I met those guys when I was racing Norbas when I was 15, so a little bit over 10 years ago, and establishing a relationship with Alex from SRAM.
Alex Wassman?
Right, Alex Wassman, and just maintained my relationship through my progress in cycling, and then took a hiatus when I raced road bikes in the beginning, and they didn't have any.
They didn't make a group at that point.
Exactly,
Right.
and then this past year they unveiled their new product, and they recontacted me, and I was a test pilot, and kind of reestablished the relationship, and here we are.
So how much input, can you see the things that you've told them about the equipment, the changes that were made later on down the road, or is it more subtle than that?
It's more subtle. I think, they came up with something so new and different, and it's going to be like a great addition. I think a lot of people who have used it have, really enjoyed the new design of it. Nothing compared to nothing out there. But they come out with new products. They're coming out with something possibly this year, and they just, they asked me to go ride it and just see what I think, and just give that, on the feel stuff reports to the engineers. Sure. And then it's just that kind of relationship.
That's cool. So let's go back the last few years, because I know there's a lot of people out there that wonder, what does it take to get on a pro team? I'm an elite amateur riding here, right, say in Colorado for the Vitamin Cottage team. First off, let's look back a little bit. You had a lot of near misses. Second place at Elite Road Nationals. You had actually, I don't know if you call that a near miss or a hit, because that's such a great result on its own. Like you said, you want to get ending up on that podium is a really massive achievement in and of itself. Same thing at one of my favorite races, the Nature Valley Grand Prix. You had a second at that really tough Stillwater stage. Is that the toughest climb out there?
It is. It's
Chillicoot Hill.
Yeah, the Maniac Wall, isn't it?
Maniac in Philly, right? That's 1K. It's not quite. The pitch isn't as severe.
Right, but I think it's just the intensity of the race. There's just
you just slam that thing.
Right, and then there's attacks in the downhill. So then you arrive at the uphill, and there's just but you got to give it all. It's the last stage, so.
Oh yeah, you watched what happened to Henderson last year, I think, on that last stage. So those are some of the near misses, but then there was actually a real golden day that you had in El Salvador when you won a mountain stage in that race. And I don't think people in America tend to appreciate how tough racing is down in South America. Is that fair to say?
I would say so, yeah. And it's a whole, I think for most U.S. riders, it's a whole undiscovered cycling community. There's a lot of stage races down there, just long distance stages, 7 to 15 days long. Everything's taken care of as far as housing, travel, and of course it's different. It's a different culture. It's a little bit bizarre, but you're still racing your bike, and you're progressing your natural talents.
Sure. It's a different kind of racing as well, I would imagine. So you come back to the States then, and are you mailing out resumes? There's a kind of a natural connection that obviously KodakGallery.com Sierra Nevada, and
Yeah.
I'd say that so much. They've been on SRAM, we were talking about it earlier, for a full season now.
Right.
Did that help you get in the door?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think being a professional cyclist is more than just having good results. I mean, you have to have the good results, but you also have to, be a committed person. You have to be, good off the bike for, PR stuff, representing their products, representing their team. And I think an outstanding relationship with SRAM, knowing my dedication to cycling, I wasn't going to show up and just, kind of give up. And I think I've proved myself, with good enough results that I can contribute in the race.
Sure. I think it's fair to say, alluding to what you were just talking about, you really break it into three sectors. You've got to be a good bike racer, but then the two other ones, I think it's the morale guy. You need to have a positive attitude and be a positive force on the team. And then you also need to learn how to live off of the bike and take care of yourself and make the right decisions when you're not racing.
Absolutely.
So what cracked the code for you then? Was it a positive phone call with Kurt? Was it 3 seasons of hard work? Is it all of that together?
It was, I think, all of that, more or less together. I mean, Kurt and I, and also Robin, we spoke various times on the phone. But they have a lot of riders they're communicating with. So I had, you have to call and you have to make yourself known.
But not be annoying.
But not be annoying, exactly.
Right. Fine line right there.
Yeah, and the time was ticking, and they gave me a call a week or so before Thanksgiving. I was actually on a ride. And
what a great feeling that must be.
Absolutely.
I bet you the rest of that ride was pretty good, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was in downtown Chicago, actually, because we were living in the city. And I didn't care about traffic or congestion anymore. I was just, stoked that I had a purpose, a continuing purpose in cycling,
So, absolutely. And now, beer camp.
Right.
That's kind of, I got to have a feeling when it all sort of hits you, that you're like, I am at a camp with all of these great other riders, with Robin and Kurt, two of the directors that have a lot of respect out here in America. Was that it? Was that the moment where you're like, yeah?
That was 2 weeks post Thanksgiving or so, and flew out there not knowing anybody, and just you show up and, everything was just coming together. There's a lot of new riders on the team. So I think a lot of us were in the same position. Sure. So we were able to relate to one another and just, we're looking forward to a great season. And I think, I'm optimistic.
Well, you should be. And did you have a chance to meet Ken Grossman? He's the guy who owns Sierra Nevada.
Yes, sorry, absolutely.
Yeah,
yes,
can
he gave us a private tour of the whole place, and it was
wonderful. That not the most amazing brewery?
Yeah, and they've actually expanded a lot, and they have a lot of, resources where they're providing their own energy. Yeah. And they're like putting up 300 yards of solar panels. So it's just a great company.
They're the Cliff Bar of beer.
Right. They're giving back to the environment, the society, and just.
Right on. Well, Ben, good luck to you next year.
Thanks.
Right on.
Look forward to seeing you.
For Ben Raby on the KodakGalway.com Sierra Nevada team, I'm Dave Toll. We'll see you down the road.